squat is the cornerstone of my routine as a power lifter. And I personally think it should be the cornerstone of everybody who is a strength athlete, as long as they're able to do the movement. There's some people that can't, and there's other ways to get stronger, and some would argue that deadlift's better. But to me, I think everybody should strive to squat at least 2 times their body weight. And if you get to that point, I think you'll find that you are just generally strong overall, because I've never met anybody who has a strong squat that wasn't also strong in other lifts. At my age, it takes me a minute to get limber, so I'll spend a good 10, sometimes 15 minutes just doing body squats and working with the barbell and just get everything limber and comfortable. Number one thing I see when people start the squat is they don't break their hips properly. So what I'm trying to demonstrate here is breaking the hips. So I'm pushing my hips back. That's called breaking the hips. And that's just something I will do before I start my descent. So if you hear the cue, break the hips, that's all it means, is just stick your butt back, hinge your hips a little, and then you want to move the bar down in a straight line, which means that your back's going to be at an angle, and your arms and your head and your neck should all be in line with your body. Now, my back looks a little bit arched because I have a slight sway in my back, but essentially, you notice that my elbows are in line with my spine, my neck is straight, which means that while I'm descending on the squat, my eyes are going to be pointed in a downwards direction. Well, I'm not really looking down. It's just that my spine and my neck are aligned, so if my torso's at an angle, it's going to look like I'm looking down. You notice a lot of people when they squat, especially high-back squatters are cued to look up as opposed to down. But if you want a strong low bar squat, everything has to be lined up, which means you're going to be looking down. Basically, what a good low bar squat does is it turns the squat into more of a leg press. So when I say break the hips, that's what I mean. Push the butt back, then go down. I'm exaggerating it here. Next, I'm going to show you how to find your most powerful position for coming out of the hole. Real easy. Grab a bench and then sit on it. Now, with your hands folded, or don't use your hands to get up. Just lean forward and get out of the chair, off the bench. You'll lean forward, and when your body finds its center of gravity, you'll stand up. That's your squat position. That's how your back should be aligned. I'm telling you, if you do this, you keep your core tight, you squat just like you got off that bench, you're going to be way more powerful, I guarantee it. Look at me squatting here with the bar. And then, rewind. Look at me getting off the bench without the bar. I'm exactly in the same position. Same foot width, same back angle, same everything. That's my powerful squat position. When you're low bar squatting, you generate your force, your power from the small of your back. So what I like to imagine is that I'm not pushing the bar up with my shoulders. I'm pushing it up. The force, the direction of force, the fulcrum, whatever, is the small of my back, which is about a hand over the glute area, right there at your lower back, right above your butt. That's the direction that force should be generated in. And that's why, you have the bar, the low bar is on the low part of your shoulders, which pushes the barbell. So you want to fight the bar in a straight up and down position because you want to exert force directly against gravity. If you can manage to make all of your force fight gravity directly without any inefficiency in the lateral direction, that's where you're going to be able to have your most powerful squat. You're going to be the most stable, and that's where the box squats come in. So the next question is rep ranges. Why do I only do these in doubles and triples? Well, I'm a power lifter, so my goal is to get that 1 rep max. So the theory is, if you're doing really heavy squats, you're kind of losing the point after a couple of reps because your form starts breaking down and your body starts recruiting muscles that it wouldn't normally use to complete the lift. And then at that point, you're no longer getting the benefit of the platform benefits. So what you want to do is you want to improve your best lift possible without breaking form. So keep the reps low. Just do 2, but then make up for it. Where you'd normally do a set of 10 or 12, do 6 sets of 2. Once I get my working sets done, and I'll do anywhere from 10 to 20 reps total, singles, doubles, and triples. I'll do my back down sets, usually be between 8 and 10 reps, 3 or 4 sets. And the weight I work with is somewhere in that 60 to 70% range, depending on programming. Now, obviously, I'm showing you box squats because I think that's the best accessory for building raw strength and power. But this applies to regular barbell squats, most other squat variations. Now we'll touch on accessories. Remember I said I don't squat heavy every day, but I have the barbell on my back 4 times, 5 times a week. A lot of times I'm doing accessories that work on mobility. As you can see here, I'm doing a barbell squat with ankle platforms and a high, way underneath 90 degrees, which works on my range of motion. So then I'll do, accessories at 50%, 60%, where I'll change my foot stance. I'll do super narrow, and then I'll go super wide, almost like a sumo squat. So I'm constantly changing the angle of my feet. Sometimes I'll switch from high bar to low bar. I'll do front squats, Zercher squats, one-legged squats, dumbbell squats, squats. I'll do squats with T-bar rows. So this might be anecdotal, but there was a few months where I had tendonitis in one of my arms from overtraining. So I had to lay off the upper body movements, and I focused more on legs and squats. And that's primarily what I did, is just a bunch of squat variations. And when I got back to training, I had hardly lost any strength and no size. And I know guys, I know it sounds unintuitive to say that if you have a heavy squat, it translates to all the other lifts, because how are your arms going to get stronger if you're not squatting? But there's just something about the body adapting as a system, where if you spend a whole lot of time getting stronger at a lift that uses 75% of your motor units, it's just like the rest of your body is going to grow with it. You're not going to see a guy with giant quads and skinny little arms. It just doesn't work like that. Your body adapts as a system. Obviously, maybe you won't have the biggest biceps or whatever, but your overall level of strength is going to go up with that lift. And it's a lift that just uses so much of your body to perform. I think that the barbell squat should be the cornerstone of everybody's program, especially if they're a power lifter or a strength athlete. But I see all these videos, and guys I don't know who's teaching these people. Like, if you're like me, you watch some videos on YouTube, you went to the gym and you just started squatting, and my squats were horrid, and I did everything that I saw everybody else doing. And the most common thing I saw everyone doing is they would look up while doing a low bar squat, and their feet were all wonky and they weren't able to hit depth. And how can you hit depth when you don't have the bar centered over your hips correctly? And then the other thing is they had no core stability, because they're not lifting with their hips, they're lifting with their upper body. That's what causes guys to fall over or fall forward. They don't have good stability. If you squat my way, I mean, even if your body type's not the same, if you're tall or short, you don't think of it as leverage where you want the barbell on your back. You think about lifting against gravity. And whether you have long legs, long femurs, whatever your proportions are, if you're fighting the barbell directly against gravity in an up and down position, it's going to be the same for everyone, despite the body type. The main differences are going to be how far your knees are over your toes, how wide your stance is, where the barbell is on your back, but everything else is going to be exactly the same. And you do those couple things that I showed you, Get out of a chair to find your power position, lift with the small of your back, keep your feet flat, and generate as much force and power out of the hole as you possibly can. Work on getting that faster, and everything else is going to go with it. When I started doing these box squats like this, I also then started doing my regular barbell squats like that, and it translated into the other squat variations. And within 6 months, I put 100 pounds on my 1 rep maximum. So, I don't know. That's my experience. Hopefully it'll be yours. I love the squat. I squat. And then when I'm done squatting, I squat some more. And then, but for accessories, sometimes you gotta squat too. So, I must have done something right because I got a handful of subscribers this week. And I'm really, really grateful. Do me a favor, guys. Hit that subscribe button and leave me a comment. I'd actually like to talk to you guys. Nobody ever talks to me.